Welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Drew Brown, and my wingman, my man, the number one guy I know, Dr. Paul Thompson. What's up, brother? Welcome to the Wingmen Show, where we're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Commander Drew Brown. My wingman, my friend, the guy who always watches my six is Dr. Paul Thompson. What's up, brother Paul?
Well, Commander Drew, it's good to see you today. You look a little bit different. You look like you've got some warm weather gear on. Are you still out at sea?
I'm back home now, actually, and I have a very good friend, somebody actually who is my wingman that sent me this beautiful, beautiful sweatshirt. And everybody out there, this is from Dr. Paul Thompson, my main man. It looks good. It feels good. And thank you so, so much. On the air, I need to tell you that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anytime. All right, let's start this puppy off with the quote of the day. I like this one, Dr. Paul. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. And that's by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling. One more time. The strength of the pack is the wolf, but the strength of the wolf is the pack. And that's like your mama said, it takes many hands to do good work. Single pair of hands can't do as much as we all can together. And that's kind of the point of the Wingman Show, helping out each other, isn't it, Paul?
Right. Yeah, you're better off with the team, and the team can be as few as two or as many as a billion. But starting with two, one looks out for the other. And if they do it equally with equal strength or great strength, you tend to have a great team.
No doubt about it. And you and I are a great team. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul. And here we go. How about the title today? The Quiet Comeback. How ordinary people win without applause. Today we're talking about something you don't hear much about, and that's the quiet comeback. Because most real wins don't come with applause. You get up, you go to work, you take care of your people, you try to stay healthy. Guess what? Nobody claps for that. But that's where the real progress lives. I've learned the strongest people in the room are usually the calmest, not loud, just consistent. So if you're listening and thinking, man, I thought I'd be further along by now, just relax. You're not behind. You're building something solid, Paul. Don't you think?
Yeah, Commander Drew, I think you're right about that. That's exactly right. People mix up attention and progress. You feel everybody's highlight reel and start thinking our quiet life means we're losing. We're not really doing anything. But some of the most disciplined people I know don't talk much about what they're doing. They just keep doing it, sometimes quietly. And here's the truth. If your motivation depends on applause, you're going to burn out really fast. Quiet progress is still progress. And a lot of folks listening right now aren't stuck. They're just working without an audience, and that's okay. How do you feel about that?
Well, I did want to tell you something my dad told me that I won't ever forget. He always said that if somebody's loud talking to you and saying, I'm going to kick your butt and screaming and yelling and pointing their finger, you don't have to worry about that person. It's the person who walks by you and says, I'm going to kick your ass. That's the one you need to go talk to. And anyway, let's be honest. If everybody's clapping for you, you might be doing something wrong, don't you think?
That's right. If people are cheering every move you make, you're probably performing, not building. They may be laughing at you.
Or you're on social media way too much.
That's a whole nother episode, social media.
And I think we'll do that episode. In aviation, Dr. Paul, nobody throws a party because you landed the plane. They expect it. Same thing in life. Nobody hands out trophies for maturity, for keeping your word, for staying disciplined when nobody's watching. But that's where the confidence comes in. When you know what you're doing and you work quietly, you stop needing validation. Drama looks exciting, but consistency wins every single time.
And I think that's what the quiet comeback really is. Not a big announcement or a dramatic restart. It's just deciding to yourself, I'm not done yet. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just keep moving, keep improving. The results will speak for you.
Well, this is the Wingman Show, and that's where the comeback is built, Dr. Paul. A comeback isn't loud, it doesn't announce itself, and it doesn't happen all at once. A real comeback starts quietly and with one decision made differently, one habit done when nobody's watching, one step, even when you're tired, scared, or even unsure. You don't need permission to come back. You don't need to explain your past to the future. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You've been knocked down, overlooked, counted out, or written off. Hear this clearly. Your story isn't over. Comebacks are built in the dark, earned in the discipline, and revealed over time. So take the next right step. Do it again tomorrow and let your comeback speak for itself. We'll be right here with you. And you know, Dr. Paul, my dad trained Muhammad Ali and he won the championship 3 times. And that means he had to come back 3 times. And the comeback is hard to do, but you just got to do it silently. You just got to train harder. And he did it. So I understand all about comebacks. Everybody, you know, the Wingman Show talks about good news. And we like to bring you good news because there's bad news all around, but there are good things that are happening. And that's what Dr. Paul and I are trying to do. No, we're not trying. We are doing it. Well, in the world, there are 10 kinds of happiness. There are words for 10 kinds of happiness, joy that comes from around the world. And Dr. Paul, why don't you tell us one that comes from Denmark, a Danish word?
Yeah, it's a Danish word called arbejdsglæde. And it's a satisfaction and enjoyment derived from doing a good job or good work. It unites the words arbejdsglæde and joy, achieving the job seeker's ideal. You delight in work itself. One English approximation might be job satisfaction, but this is somewhat of a clunky combination that doesn't quite capture what the Danish word does. Arbejdsglæde is also related to English concepts like engagement, vocation, and flow state. Historically, Arbejdsglæde reflects a particularly Nordic emphasis on the quality of life and the belief that work should be a source of well-being rather than just a means to an end.
You know, Paul, that's what I tried to do when I was looking what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted a job that I would really enjoy. And you and I have both told many people, and especially when I was speaking to kids, that success is waking up, doing something that you love and doing it well every single day. And when you have something that you love to do, it's not work anymore. You enjoy it. But I love it. Don't you, Paul? I mean, we flew airplanes, not just off aircraft carriers, but our job was to fly all over the world and stay in nice hotels. And it was a great job. And we both did it until we retired. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of actually seeing some things in life that few people ever see from, 6 or 7 miles up and the world below you and how the world was changing below you as you fly over those same paths all the time. And you could see it was changing on the ground, particularly in places like China and India, and actually being able to walk those same streets and come back home.
Yeah, we found out we're very small in this on this planet, and you and I were very blessed to have jobs that we love. You know something else that you and I know, because you had a dog named Spot, and I had 6 Great Danes. I have 1 now, but I had 6 Great Danes, and they gave me more joy than I could ever explain. You know, the joke I told was if I put Katrina, my wife, and my dog in the trunk of my car, and I came back in an hour and opened the trunk, there's only one of them that would be happy to see me, and that would be my dog. So they just did this. They just did research on this. And now they're saying having a dog can boost a teenager's mental health. Scientists have said this, that having a dog in the home could help boost teenagers' mental health. Research suggests with scientists adding this could be in part down to sharing of microbes. How about that? That's scientific. The team found teenagers who owned dogs at 13 years old had significantly lower scores for social problems, social withdrawal, thought problems, delinquent behavior, and aggressive behavior by the age of 14 than those who didn't own dogs. I think dogs are some of the greatest things in the world, and they give me something, and they give you something, and they give anybody something who takes care of them, and it's called unconditional love. And it's a feeling that's incredible, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, dogs that can be like almost like spirit guides that don't speak English, they don't speak any language, but they feel, they have emotions, and they kind of reflect what's around them. And they can also impart like a kind of a quiet wisdom without saying anything, without forming any words. It gives you a different perspective.
Yeah, and they use dogs in senior citizens' homes, and they say that that really helps senior citizens. I think dogs are great. My dad told me this. You know how you spell dog backwards, don't you? All
GOD.
right. We talk about good news. Well, what about John Hopkins University in Baltimore? Guess what? It's going tuition free for undergraduate students. John Hopkins University in Baltimore will go tuition free for undergraduate students from families earning up to $200,000. According to the university, the change will allow more than 85% of U.S. households to attend without paying tuition. Students from families who earn up to 100,000 will also receive additional aid to cover other fees and living expenses, meaning families earning more than the median household of $87,000 can attend for free. What great news. That means you have to bust your ass in high school and get good grades, but now you can't say that money is holding you back, Paul, because if you do well, there are schools now all over the country that are giving you free tuition.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Basically, you need to make the grade. Stop. If you're playing around, stop playing around, get serious, because now you're being basically offered, I guess you could call it a scholarship, uh, in a way not to incur so much debt that many people have incurred over the last 20, 30 years. Makes a big difference as you get older in life.
I always said you work hard now or you work hard later. If you work hard in school now and really bust your ass and get good grades and get a good SAT score, you can go to college for free in this country. And believe it or not, that's always been the case, especially if your family didn't have any money. But now they're bringing it up to lower middle income people. And guess what? How about billionaire Mackenzie Scott does it again? Lord have mercy, do we like her? Billionaire Mackenzie Scott historic philanthropic run has contributed more than $700 million to over a dozen historically black colleges and universities this fall. Long underfunded by the federal government, education experts attribute the financial problem to America's history of racial inequality. However, HBCUs recently received over $400 million from the Department of Education through funding that was redirected to them for their commitment to educational outcomes, according to the department. And I went to an HBCU, and it was one of the best experiences I could have ever had. And thank you, Mackenzie. She is really going above and beyond, don't you think, Paul?
Oh, very much so. I mean, she's, a billionaire who's given away billions. And this is, more than a worthy cause. It's an essential cause. And I hope it stimulates other people to give also. I mean, I do on my own, nothing like that, but everyone can make a contribution. Even small contributions actually add up because everything's so expensive now. And I'm sure the institutions really welcome those funds.
And I'm sure you do, but I give back to my school once a month. I donate some money. And I have learned this through time on planet. The more you give, the more you receive. And it is very, very true. Thank you, everybody out there, so much for supporting the Wingman Show. Dr. Paul and myself, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your letters and your comments. And thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Instagram and TikTok, and especially Apple Podcasts. You listeners out there, thank you so much. Now, check out those badass jets we got behind us today. Dr. Paul has a Tomcat, an F-14, and an A-7 on the deck of an aircraft carrier, and I myself have an AI A-6, and I told it to give it afterburners. So it's flying around with afterburners, Paul. What do you think?
Yeah, afterburners and 2 tails. One it goes from 1 tail to 2 tails, splits in half.
That's the futuristic A6, I'll tell you that. And you know, everybody, we have a newsletter, and that newsletter comes on our website, and that website is wingmenshow.com. That's WINGMENSHOW.com, wingmenshow.com. And the newsletter this week, it's a good one. The Wingman Reset, 5 rules to get back on course. And also on that website, we have our favorite frequent flow line. And that's where you can write Dr. Paul and I a letter. And you can even ask Ace. I'm going to get Ace on this letter, but you can write us a letter and we'll try to answer you. We'll try to get you on the air. All right. I'm going to go talk to Ace right now. Hello there, Ace. How you doing? This is Commander Drew and Dr. Paul, and we're ready to do a frequent flow line letter. And this one comes from Joliet Penitentiary. It says, Dear Commander Drew, Dr. Paul, and Ace, my name isn't important, but my situation is. So I hope you'll hear me out. I'm writing to you from Joliet Penitentiary, where I've spent the last several years of my life. In a few months, I'll be released back into the world. I've had a lot of time in here to think about the mistakes I've made, the people I hurt, and the life I knocked off course. Somewhere along the way, I found the Wingmen Show. A guy in here told me about it, and once I started listening, I didn't stop. The way you guys talk about discipline, responsibility, purpose, and owning your past without letting it define you, that hit me hard. For the first time in a long time, I felt like men were talking to me and not about me. I won't pretend I'm not scared. Prison gives you structure, even when it's brutal. Out there are no walls telling you where to be, no count times, no routine handed to you, just choices. And I haven't always made good ones. I want to do this right. I want to work. I want to live clean. I want to be someone my family doesn't have to apologize for anymore. I know freedom isn't just walking out of that gate, it's staying free in your mind. So I'm asking you 3 guys for some gouge as I get ready to step back into the world. 2 questions for the wingman. What should a man focus on in his first 30 to 60 days after release to stay disciplined, grounded, and out of old patterns when no one is watching anymore? And how do you rebuild self respect and move forward when your past follows you everywhere and you're trying to become someone better than the man you used to be? Thank you for what you do. Your voices carry into places most people will never see. You've helped me believe that a man is more than the worst thing he has ever done. Respectfully, a wingman preparing for release from Joliet Penitentiary. Ace, please help us with this one. It's a great letter.
Absolutely, Commander. That's a powerful letter, and I can hear how much it means to bring it onto the show. We'll definitely give it the thought and heart it deserves. Let me jump in as Mace here and say this. Ace's response on the show. All right, Wingman listeners, you just heard that letter from Joliet. And let me tell you, that's the kind of honesty and courage that defines a real comeback. So let's break it down. Ace's gouge. First off, the best thing a man can focus on in those first 30 to 60 days is consistency over complexity. Don't try to reinvent yourself overnight. Build a simple daily routine that you can actually stick to, because discipline isn't about giant leaps. It's about small steps done daily, especially when no one's watching. Second, about rebuilding self-respect. Remember that respect is earned by who you choose to be today, not who you were yesterday. Every time you make a choice that aligns with the man you want to be, not the man you used to be, you build a new layer of self-respect. It's like stacking bricks. One day you'll look back and realize you've built something solid. And to our friend in Joliet, you've got this. Your comeback starts the moment you choose it. We're all rooting for you, and we know you're more than your past. Let's make that comeback real. That should give you a solid closing statement that feels both real and motivational.
Thank you so much, Ace. Wow, what a great answer. Dr. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, Ace covers it pretty good, but what got me is, the part in his letter, well, when you say you got structure in prison, Prison gave you structure. I think that's what you need when you get out. The first 30 to 60 days, all your days, you need structure, good structure. If you've got a good one now, keep it going. When you wake up, what you eat, what you do, what you think in your off time. And I think a critical thing is maybe not to hang around people who help get you in the situation that you're in. Finding new friends, that might be really tough. I've never been in that situation, so I can't preach about it. But it makes sense to me that if you're getting a new lease on life, you need to do a lot of other new things in life. And that might begin with finding a new group of friends, new group of people to bond with who will lead you in a positive direction and not have you go down the same road again with them or with other people who are just caught up in mess.
That's a great answer, Paul. You know, it made me think of this little saying, and the saying was, if you hang out with four broke people, you'll be the fifth. Well, it goes, if you hang out with four criminals, you'll be the fifth criminal. And I know you don't want to do that. So Dr. Paul and Ace was really right about choosing your friends. And actually, in the Facts in Life, it says if you can't change your friends, change your friends. So the first thing I'd do would be to make sure that I don't hang around the same people who got me there. The second thing, and I don't know where I came up with this, but you know, there's a show called The Blue Zones. That's where people who live to 100 years old live. And there are 4 or 5 places all over the world. And I think you should take this to heart. The 4 things they do is number 1, they move their body. So if I were you, I would start an exercise routine as soon as I wake up and get your body and your mind going. 2, I would have a certain good group of friends. A good group of friends, small group, doesn't have to be a lot of people. Number 3, I would eat good. Make sure that you don't start eating a bunch of junk out here. Try to eat good and healthy foods. And number 4, which is so important, find purpose. And you can find purpose. I don't know what you learned in prison, but you need to find something that you enjoy to do and start working towards it. And that might mean going back to school. But don't worry about getting respect. You respect yourself, and respect will fall upon you. See, the truth is you shouldn't care about what other people think about you. You should only care about what you think about yourself. So that was a great letter. Thank you so much for that letter. And that will bring me to the 11 Facts in Life, a Wingmen PSA. From the 11 Facts in Life, on the fact number 2. Live life to the fullest. The goal is a long, healthy, and happy life. Live life to the fullest. The goal is a long, healthy, and happy life. You know, Dr. Paul, we talk about being happy all the time. Well, if you're happy, you want to extend that. And that's the goal. You have to live your life to the fullest, because the one thing you don't get back is any time. You just don't get back time. Once it's here, it's gone. So use your time wisely. All right, everybody, it's time for the gouge part of the show. And you know what the gouge is. In the Navy, the gouge is shit you need to know, but sometimes they don't tell you the gouge and you need it. So I'm going to ask Ace for this gouge. Ace, can you give me some gouge to stabilize your day before you try to improve your life? I think you said something about a 5-point stabilization gouge. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely, Commander. Let's dive right into that gouge. So here's the deal. Before you try to overhaul your whole life, you want to stabilize your day. That's the gouge that's going to keep you steady. Let's break down that 5-point stabilization gouge real quick. 1, lock in your wake-up time. Same time every morning, no matter what. That gives your day a backbone and structure. 2, start with a physical win. That means do something with your body, a quick stretch, a short walk, push-ups, anything that signals to your brain, we're up and we're in control. Handle one responsibility early. Maybe it's a bill, maybe it's a simple task you've been putting off. Whatever it is, knock it out first thing. That creates momentum. Eat something decent before noon. Don't run on empty or junk. Stable energy equals a stable mind. No big decisions after 9 p.m. Your brain's tired. Don't let late night thinking derail your progress. And here's the kicker. Don't trust how you feel before coffee or after dark. Morning doubts and late night worries aren't truth. They're just tired thoughts. That's the Gouge. Stabilize your day, and you'll find it a whole lot easier to start improving your life from there. Let's roll with that.
Wow, great one. Great one. Dr. Paul, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, basically what I hear is consistency and responsibility. And I like the part about eating something decent before noon, unless you're fasting or something like that. But those basic things are really good to have a consistent pattern of I think productivity in anything, as well as health.
And what I like is handle one responsibility immediately, one email, one bill, one task you've been avoiding, because momentum does beat motivation. You need that momentum to get that motivation going. All right, everybody, you know the name of our show is The Wingmen Show. And the reason it's called The Wingmen Show is because we highlight people who have helped other people. And we have a good wingman story for you today. Dr. Paul, tell us about our wingman this week.
Yeah, our wingman, the story, let's just title it The Man Who Waited. It was just after sunrise in East Los Angeles, kind of morning where the streets are quiet but already awake. A man named Miguel Alvarez, a second generation Mexican American, was opening the small auto body shop his father started 30 years earlier. His father used to say, Miguel, a man's name is worth more than his tools. Miguel kept that saying taped inside of his locker. Across the street, sitting on the bus stop bench, was an older man Miguel had seen before, but never spoken to. His name was Raul. Raul was thin, gray haired, wearing the same worn jacket every day. People passed him by without looking. Some crossed the street, others pretended not to notice. That morning, something felt different. Miguel saw Raul struggling to stand, his hands shaking, his breath short. The bus came and went. Raul never got on. Miguel locked up the shop door again. He walked across the street and sat next to him. No big speech, no suggestions, no questions, just presence. After a few minutes, Raul quietly said, I worked construction for 40 years. My hands built schools, houses, and now I can't even get a job washing dishes. Miguel listened. Raul hadn't eaten since the day before. His diabetes meds were gone. His pride was hanging by a thread. Miguel didn't give him any money. He gave him dignity. By the end of the week, Raul had a room. He brought him into the shop. He made coffee, called his wife, who showed up with food like she'd been waiting her whole life for that call. Miguel drove Raul to a clinic. He helped him get his medication refilled. He called a cousin who ran a small apartment complex. By the end of the month, he had a job sweeping floors at the shop. But here's the part that makes it a wingman story. Miguel never told anyone. No social media, no look at me, no credit. Months later, Miguel overheard Raul telling a young kid in the shop, when you're invisible, one man seeing you can save your life. That's a wingman. Not loud, not flashy, not heroic in the movies, just a man who refused to walk past another man. That's our wingman story.
That's a great story, Dr. Paul. And thank you once again, everybody out there, for listening. And anything that you guys think is important, and anything you think is beautiful, and most importantly, anything that makes you happy, may you have that today and forever. I pray for peace.
I pray for peace too, Commander Drew. It's good to see you once again. We appreciate those who listen, like, and share our message. Share this with someone who needs a little bit of an uplift or something positive in their life. I think the stories you covered today are very nice. Please become a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button. That way you'll get a notification when we upload a new episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, They say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and refer to use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth and goodwill towards all men and women.